you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Jane Matnair and Greg Bach.
Coming up on this show, unfortunately, more PFAS are showing up in Wisconsin's.
Broadcasting live statewide from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay. This is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right.
And now, a guy who hates shaking hands, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome to Nite Lite, ladies and gentlemen. I don't hate it that much. Sometimes I like to do it. Just depends on the person. Hey, we got a great show. Folks, I am live from Madison tonight. It is so great to be in our state's capital tonight, overlooking State Street. A beautiful night, gorgeous. Conrad, yesterday, supposedly we switched into fall. It is a beautiful night here, and I can only hope it is beautiful in Green Bay as well.
Well, it was downpouring for a while today,
Oh, really?
this morning, but after that cleared up, yeah, it was nice and warm and toasty, Didn't feel like fall.
It was like 80 when I got here. Aaron Sommers is here tonight, folks, too. Aaron, how are you?
Doing well. Like you said, beautiful day here in Madison, even though I have spent the majority of it inside.
You are always a champ. I love when you're here. You always help me get set up here because I'm not on my home turf. But more and more, it feels like my home turf, and it's so effortless because you're always here. So big time shout out. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And we're always happy to have you.
Is that true?
For me, I guess I can't speak for the rest of the staff.
Because I've heard rumblings. I don't want to cast aspersions or speak for others, but it's nice to know. I'm kidding. Everyone's great here. It's always fun to come to Madison and do Nite Lite. And Conrad, we've got some window love tonight from our Nite Lite Studio South. I'll just tease that. It will appear on Facebook probably in the next hour, but I couldn't find a 19-foot tall person, so I had to kind of look down at the street, but we got it taken care of. So Conrad Krieger working the board tonight, folks. Aaron Zomer sitting in for a few minutes, helping us get started here. And it is great to have you here. We've got a great question. I've got great guests. Always fun to tap into the Madison area in terms of guests. I've got two live in-studio guests. Our pal Eric Jellin will be here. He is the front man for The Mascot Theory. We've featured their music before. We've had Eric on the show before. But I will say this. Since Eric was on the show last November, he has had major drama unfold in his life, and he has turned it into an amazing new record. And we are going to share some of the music from his newest effort, he and The Mascot Theory's newest effort tonight when he drops by here at 6:35. He'll be in studio, as he was during his last appearance. And then my pal Jim Healy, who is one of the programmers at UW Cinematheque, and he is also a top dog at the Wisconsin Film Festival and a movie fanatic. I will say this. You guys, Conrad, how many movies would you say you watch in a given year if you had to guess?
A lot. I don't think I could give a certain number.
If you had, like, ballpark.
I'd say around 250, maybe.
250 movies.
Yeah, I think
It's pretty good.
I mean, like, because when I'm bored at home, I was like, why not just throw on something and I just toss on a movie,
You don't have to listen. That sounds great to me. Aaron, what about you, Mr. Zommers?
I think that's a number I would love to shoot for.
250?
But I think I'm more at like 100 maybe.
Okay. That's a movie every 3 days or so.
Yeah. One of my roommates is big into movies as well. So whenever it's just us around, we'll watch a movie usually. But the other one falls asleep every time, or just about every time. And so he's more into, I don't know, playing games or things like that. And so I don't get to watch as many movies as I would like, but
All right. Well, you both, that's a good number for both of you guys. I couldn't even tell you. I would say probably I'm closer to Conrad, somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 to 300. But some of those are movies I've seen. They're like comfort movies I'll put on.
Yeah.
New movies, I'm probably at 100, maybe, I'm guessing. The reason I ask is because my second guest tonight, Jim Healy, who will be here in studio at 7:20, a couple years ago posted on Facebook that he watched 763 movies in 1 year.
wow.
I mean, now part of it, that's his job for the Wisconsin Film Festival and programming Cinematech, but that was an incredible number. If you just average them, double that, that's like 1,500 hours a year of movie watching, or probably more. So we're going to talk a little bit about Robert Redford, our favorite Robert Redford movies, and where we rank him as an actor, and then maybe a little Peter Bogdanovich talk. And Jim's going to tell us what's coming up at UW Cinematech, folks. If you don't take advantage of this great program and this great theater right on the UW campus, you absolutely should go to the calendar and find out what's playing. It's all free to the public, so it's good stuff. So 2 great guests. We got a fun question coming up, and I'm going to tell you all about our new text to win contest coming up in just a few minutes, and I will give you the keyword after the break in the second segment. So you got that to look forward to, folks, and big prizes this time too. It's going to be a lot of fun. Guys, I got some advice for you. I'm older than both of you, but I'm young at heart and incredibly immature. I went to Stevens Point this weekend, and we went out to breakfast. My wife and my daughter and I. It was a chain place, a place I've had, it's fine. It's a chain, supposed to be moderately priced. I cannot believe how expensive. And I'll just say, I'll do like a hot wire thing and say roughly what the restaurant was. It's in the Perkins, Denny's. What else do you have there?
IHOP?
IHOP family. It's one of those.
Okay.
Okay, so French toast with eggs and bacon was $17.
That
That
must be
is-
some good French toast.
It was fine French toast, but it was not worth. Okay, our bill was like $70. So here's my advice to you. And the guy that sat us, it was like he purposely let his hair get really greasy, and then he kind of did like a comb over type thing.
Ooh.
Obviously, this guy had put some thought into it, but it was greasy and it was just like really not appetizing. So, and then I go into the bathroom, and the paper towel dispenser, like you wash your hands and like 4 inches of a paper towel comes out. Like who can work with that? That's not even, you got to do it like 10 times to get enough toweling to wipe your hands off, and then use the rest of it to open the door. Here's where I'm going with this. Spend the extra money. Go to a higher class restaurant, spend the extra, what is it, $20 for cleanliness and good service.
Well, especially because if a place like that's selling French toast for $17+
Insane.
you're not paying much more anyway.
No, that's my point. Everything is so expensive now. Just go top tier and spend the extra money. I don't go out to breakfast a lot. It's well worth it to spend $20. Conrad, you're laughing. What am I being curmudgeon-y?
No. I totally agree. French toast should not be that pricey because it's not that hard to make.
Right. And my
It's
daughter
just
had a
bread
waffle.
and egg. It's just bread and
Exactly.
egg. It's not hard.
And here's the
So-
weird thing. I walked in. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say eggs are getting up there in price, but still, it shouldn't be $17.
No, and it's like one egg. It's part of a
Yeah.
combo. It's not like I'm getting. So I walk into this hotel too to check in, and I could not get a hold of them. So all morning I'm calling to make sure, or to see if I can get an early check-in by like an hour. Nobody's answering. And I'm like, is this hotel still in business? Like, it's a major chain. I can't get a hold of anybody. While I'm driving, I chat with hotels.com. I hope I can say that. In the chat, I'm like, can you guys just confirm to me that this hotel is still open? The virtual chat person keeps coming back and say, our advice would be to call the hotel. Okay, well, everything that started this conversation was me saying I can't get a hold of anybody at the hotel. Can you help? This is how I booked the hotel. There were no help whatsoever. I got there. Luckily, they were open. I walk in. No one's in the lobby. This is what you get for $90 a night. This is me trying to save a few bucks. And there's this voice like from the heavens that says hello. And I'm looking around. I have no idea who's talking to me. Hello, sir. I'm like, hi. Finally, this woman comes out. I was standing in front of a virtual check-in. Have you ever seen those?
No.
I've never seen those. This guy was in Madison, and he was going to check me in over the video. And I'm like, it was terrible. It was such a surreal experience, the whole thing.
I guess what we're learning is when you try to save money, there is still another cost to be paid.
You're saving money, but you're not saving frustration or whatever. Now, what I saved on the hotel, I spent on breakfast. Whatever. It's just, I'm not a cheap guy by any stretch. I'll go the extra mile, but I was expecting at a chain to get a decent meal and a hotel stay too. And the hotel stay ended up being fine. But we've got bigger fish to fry, guys. Tom Holland suffered a concussion shooting Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man. He's okay, rest assured. But
I was worried.
I know you were, Conrad, because you watch 250 movies a year. So
I was shaking in my boots,
Hey, we are running out of time here in this first segment. I want to tell you, folks, I'm going to tell you all about our Text to Win contest. It's coming up, and then I will give you the keyword after a short break. But first, we have to do our question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Okay, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda.
Question.
Questions.
Oh, it's National Diary Day. You know you all keep a diary. I don't care what year it is. What is the most embarrassing thing someone could read in your diary? I'm asking for a little forthrightness here. I'm asking you to be an open book, pun intended. Let me know what you would be embarrassed by if somebody read your diary. 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Let me know, or you can text us on the app. Or if you are watching on the stream, drop us a stream comment and let us know what you would be embarrassed by if someone read in your diary. All right, I know I was on the fence about this question because I know a lot of people. I'm hoping people just make the leap and tell me what they might be embarrassed about if they kept a diary, because I don't think too many people keep a diary anymore. You guys keep a diary?
I don't.
Yeah, me either. All right, great question, Pete. Well, we'll see where we get. I know. What about Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
Yeah, I mean, everyone read that diary, so.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I'll go first. I'll start us off. I would probably just say sexual stuff.
But you got something to be ashamed of, though?
Well, yeah, if I'm insecure about something, or, if I had to apologize to a girl or something, I'm not even sure. Actually, I might be too embarrassed to even share that with my diary.
I think in my diary, there's won't be anything like that, so not a whole lot to share.
Well, so you're saying you wish you had more to share to be embarrassed about?
Potentially,
if you had
that the lack of things to be embarrassed about. You'd be shocked at how much time I'm just at home alone.
Okay. Spend another night home alone, washing my hair, making a frozen dinner. What about you, Con? Anything?
I don't have a diary now. I used to have a diary of cheat codes for video games.
Nice.
That's kind of embarrassing. You're breaking the law.
I guess so. So maybe that's embarrassing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, and I'm opening up here. I'm an open book here. I'm not saying like, I mean, I think anytime in your life you can find something to apologize to your partner for when it comes to intimacy. You put your knee on their hair accidentally. I don't know where I'm going with this. Conrad, why did you let me pick this question tonight?
You seem like you really wanted to. So,
did I really? Well, it is National Diary Day. I mean, what am I supposed to do with that? All right, we're coming back, folks. When we come back, I'm going to tell you about our new Text to Win contest here at Civic Media, and I'm going to give you the keyword, and it's a fantastic contest. You're not going to want to miss it. Be part of the fun. Be part of Nite Lite. Text us and let us know what's up. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite live from Madison on the Civic Media Radio Network.
97.9 WGBW and WGBW.FM.
Streaming TV is where it's at. It's not about cutting the cord anymore. It's all about your customized TV options. With the best and cheapest high-speed internet and your own TV subscriptions, we've got your dream TV lineup. Between wired and satellite internet and TV, save money and get more internet speed and better TV today by calling the Whole Home Connect.
800-217-9129. 800-217-9129. 800-217-9129.
Hey, it's Amanda, and we all know that Northeast Wisconsin has some of the best events around, but trying to find them all can be tricky. So here at WGBW, we decided to do the work for you. Prevent boredom on any night by going to WGBW.FM and click events in the top right corner. You'll never have to spend forever scrolling to find out what's going on in your area. And if you got an event to share, hit us up by emailing info@WGBW.FM, bringing you local news and timeless hits while giving you the 411 on what's happening in New Wisco.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
I was stuck in a state of panic and endless rituals, so I made the call.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And we're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app.
Your local Civic Media radio station is your source for real news and great conversation, plus fun and exciting contests. For a complete list of contest rules, log on WGBW.
You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, I'm levitating. The Milky Way, we're renegading. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got you, moonlight. You're my starlight. I need you.
This is Nite Lite. I am Pete Schwaba. It is great to have you with me tonight. I am coming to you live from Madison Civic Media headquarters tonight. I have some PBS work to do here in Madison, and it is always a blast to come down and see friends at PBS as well as here at Civic Media. Always a fun time to be in Madison. I made a mistake, Conrad. I'm not giving the keyword until the 7 o'clock hour, as I understand it.
Next hour.
And listen, I am a rule follower. I am not going to break from that. So I'm going to wait till the 7 o'clock hour, folks. I hope you can hang in there too, because I will give you all the contest details and the keyword in hour number 2. So Eric Jelland is here, the front man for Mascot Theory. He will be along shortly. He is in the bullpen, Conrad, as they say, warming up. I have to tell you, I was thinking about you yesterday, Conrad. I know tons of Packer fans, but since I've been doing this show, you are front and center as a Packer fan in my life.
Yeah.
And the first thing I thought, like I was listening on the radio driving home yesterday, and I'm like, well, they got this wrapped up. And oh my God, I turned off the radio in the car and I just put some music on. And then when I got home, it was like down to the wire. And then I thought, well, I turned it off again. I said, oh, the Packers are going to make this kick. What the heck was going through your mind?
Well, first of all, it's hard to win with all those penalties that we had. It's the first time since 2000, I think 10 that we had that many. 2010 since we had that many penalties. It was like 18 or something. Okay. So it's hard to win like that. But I gotta say, Tucker Kraft, phenomenal player. Huge mistake at the end of the game. Missed that block. Who the guy who blocked the punt or the field goal? Tucker missed that block.
Oh, okay.
So
I still haven't even seen the highlights.
I guess it's not just on him though. It was the whole team. It was Matt LaFleur. It was, our offensive line. We had 2 injuries out of the gate pretty much. So it's just a rough game. We'll bounce back.
Here's what I can't wrap my head around with the NFL. You got 17 games. That's why I love it. all of them are important.
Yeah.
But it's amazing to me how in 1 week, and listen, I've been lamenting my Bears forever, and they had a great game yesterday. They choked their first game. They got blown out last week. I don't know what to make of that team because they looked great yesterday, but this was like a reversal. Now I feel like every Packer fan, and I'm looking at you, how all my Packer fan friends have looked at me. It's just crazy, but like all of a sudden you're feeling great. And I thought, oh my God, this is the Packers league right now with how they're playing and love and all that. And a couple mistakes, and all of a sudden you start second guessing. Just like with the Bears, they're 1-2 now. They play the Raiders. Oh, 2-2 going into the bye. Maybe they're still like, it's like a constant carrot and stick thing. It's horrible.
You know, it's any given Sunday, you know?
Right.
It's the NFL. There's not a team that's they could have a bad record, but they're still a football team in the NFL. So
anything can happen.
Yep.
So who do you guys have this week?
Well, we go to the Cowboys.
Oh, that's right. I knew that.
Well, and huge CeeDee Lamb will not be playing. So
will not be playing. He only played like seven plays or something like that yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, for the Bears fans, I gotta say, it must have been nice to stick it to Matt Eberflus like that.
Oh my gosh. I mean, to me, it's just like when you get a win against a team that, it was probably close to a toss-up, but we have like 4 guys out on defense. 2 of them are serious playmakers. So when CeeDee Lamb went down, I didn't feel that bad for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I felt bad for him. All right, we've got a great show tonight, folks. Eric Jellin is here from Mascot Theory. He has shared with me new music from their new album called Cosmic Hit and Run. It's a very personal album. We'll talk to Eric about that at 6:35. He's been on the show before, and he's always fun to talk to. And a great band. If you haven't heard the Mascot Theory, Google it, go to Spotify, whatever. But definitely don't miss this interview because Eric is a great interview as well. And then my pal Jim Healy will be here at 7:20. We'll be talking movies, famous directors, and all kinds of stuff with my movie buff friend Jim Healy. Our question of the night, and I've rarely bailed on a question, and I'm not bailing, but I just don't know, just because diaries are so obscure. I don't know what kind, but you know what, folks, if you don't have a diary, just tell me what you'd be embarrassed to put in there, or what you'd be embarrassed if someone read your diary. Something vulnerable, like what would you not want them to know about you, or what you're writing in your diary? Some of our social media answers. Chad Fran. Chad. Yeah. He says that I am an older man who doesn't know how to express his emotions, for example, anger. So instead of using a proven method of emotional relief, he would rather make fun of the thought of writing in a diary. And then he wrote mic drop. I don't think you can say what you wrote is a mic drop. I think that's for other people to determine if what you said is worthy of a mic drop. Exactly. Daniel Wheeler, our pal Danny Wheels, says, "Dear Diary, it was late dinner with friends in Boston. Walking back to the subway, the food poisoning hit me. I wish I could say it was nausea, but it wasn't. No bathroom, no choice. Those bushes were the real victim."
Oh, well.
I'm just going to assume that's a true story, because who would? And listen, I appreciate the forthrightness of Danny Wheels, our pal. My pal Mike Desital says that I have a diary. Okay. There's obviously a couple guys here not comfortable with their masculinity. You have to rip on diaries. Journaling is healthy, folks. Don't you remember when Brandon Marshall used to do it on the sidelines during NFL games? There's nothing wrong with keeping a journal. So be part of the fun. Text us what you would be embarrassed to have somebody read from your diary. When we come back, it's our first guest of the week. Eric Jellin will be here. Jim Healy's coming by later. Text us, folks. Be part of the show. I'm live from Madison tonight. It's great to be here. It's great to have you here with me, so to speak. Conrad working the board. All is right here in America. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
There's a perfect kiss somewhere out in the dark.
From Denmark to De Pere, this is 97.9 WGBW. As Wisconsin has a game of cribbage with good friends, this is the Civic Media Radio Network.
From the 97.9 WGBW Newsroom, I'm Connie Fellman with this local news update. A heartbreaker in Cleveland as the Packers lose to the Browns in the last 2 seconds of the game yesterday. Cleveland didn't even score until the last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter, but then the game turned in a hurry. An interception and blocked field goal attempt by the Packers set the Browns up to break the 10-10 tie, which they did with a 55-yard field goal. The Pack fell to the Browns 13-10 in their first loss of the season. While the team was on the road, hundreds of Girl Scouts had a slumber party at Lambeau Field Saturday night. Around 400 Girl Scouts of the Northwestern Great Lakes spent an evening touring the stadium, making cards for local nursing homes, as well as blankets for the Humane Society, and watching a movie. Then about 150 Scouts rolled out their sleeping bags for an overnight in the Hall of Fame. The Packers regularly host smaller groups of Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts for sleepovers in the Hall of Fame, but this was just the second year such a large contingent of Girl Scouts gathered for the Lambeau Field event. Green Bay area school students head back to class today under some new safety protocols put in place by the district. About 11,000 students had to get a new clear backpack if they wanted to bring a bag to school. Thousands of clear backpacks have been donated by local businesses and people around the community to support students. That's just one of several new safety measures put in place after police found a loaded gun and ammunition in a student's backpack at Preble High School nearly 2 weeks ago. The district held a community roundtable discussion last week to gather ideas from the public on what they'd like to see in schools to keep students safe. The school board will present the results of that discussion at the next school board meeting on October 13th. With news at the top and bottom of the hour all day and on demand anytime at WGBW.FM, I'm Connie Fellman, 97.9 WGBW News.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Legendary director Martin Scorsese is 82 years old but showing no signs of slowing down. Variety reports that the Oscar winner will direct an adaptation of What Happens at Night, a ghost story novel written by Peter Cameron that came out in 2023. The story follows an American couple who goes to a snowy, cold European city to adopt a child. The film has a couple of A-listers attached already in Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence. Apple Films will oversee production. Actress Anne Hathaway had some choice words for the press, more specifically the paparazzi. While filming The Devil Wears Prada 2 in New York City recently, the press got a little too aggressive for her liking. The Les Mis star told the Vultures to relax and back off because there were children on the set. Hathaway and Meryl Streep are both back for the sequel. The much-anticipated follow-up to The Devil Wears Prada hits theaters May 1st of 2026. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nite Lite with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
As Wisconsin is dropping a line in your favorite fishing spot, this is the Civic Media Radio Network.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Isolated evening storms, otherwise partly cloudy tonight. A low in the low 60s with patchy fog. Mostly cloudy for tomorrow morning, some sun in the afternoon, a high in the upper 60s. Staying dry through the week as temperatures stay in the 70s. It's 71 right now.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
We are the National Park Foundation, and together with you, we're creating a future where every person, every generation, gets their chance at an unforgettable moment. Learn more at nationalparks.org/foundation.
Jane Matnair and Greg Bach.
Coming up on the show, unfortunately, more PFAS are showing up in Wisconsin.
A 1, 2, it was a teenage wedding in a
welcome back. I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Nite Lite, and we are enjoying this beautiful Monday evening here in our state's capital, coming to you live from Madison tonight. Great to have you with me. Conrad is back in Green Bay, working the board and holding down the fort. What am I missing? Anything happening up there, Conrad?
Not really.
No? Okay.
Yeah, you're not missing much.
Whispering to everybody to keep it down while he talks to me on the stream. All right, this is exciting, folks. Listen, at the top of the second hour, Act 2, as I like to call it, I'm going to tell you all about Civic Media's Go for the Green and Gold Text to Win contest, and I'm going to give you a keyword. It's our new contest here at Civic Media, and I'll just tease you with it involves Green Bay versus Minnesota. That's all I'll say for now. More details coming in hour number 2. As well as Jim Healy at 7:20 talking movies. Right now, I'm very excited to have this next guest on. He's been on the show before. Terry Barr, our mutual friend, introduced us, and that's how I first learned of the Mascot Theory's music, and I just love it. And their front man, and you're just a friend of the show at this point, Eric. I think Eric Jellin joins me here in the studio. But I have to say, before I dig into this conversation with Eric, it is time. Eric is our first guest, Conrad. Did you know that?
He is.
First guest of the week. So it's time to light it up right with the Nite Lite First Guest of the Week, brought to you by Chicken or the Egg Photography. Chris specializes in food, event, music, and product photography for businesses across Wisconsin and the Midwest. See what he can do for you at chickenoretheeggphotography.com. Do you think he can Photoshop out excess pounds, Conrad?
I think he could.
Conrad has no idea. He's just trying to make me feel better.
No, I think he could do it.
Of course he can, right? But that might cost extra. That's all I'm saying. So, but check out chickenoretheeggphotography.com. Chris does great stuff. Eric Jellin is here. It is great to have you here. You were here last November.
Yeah.
And that seems like forever ago, but also not really. I mean, I remember you talking about you brought in a great vinyl album of your last album, and now you've I'm going to show this on the screen. Conrad, check this out. Eric brought in a copy of their new album, the Cosmic Hit and Run, and it's great. We're going to play some music from the album tonight during the interview. Eric is here in the studio. Thank you again for another awesome piece of vinyl.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Is that how you like to listen to music?
I liked producing it that way. This album was very specific to the vinyl format with side A, side B. It was kind of the first time we had created an album, and we're like, okay, we have X amount of time on the one side, and this technically 18 minutes on one side, 18 on the next before it starts to degrade a little bit. So we really put a lot into that, thinking of it that way. It's on CD as well, but really that was okay, we have this much to get done, and we know someone's going to flip that record at some point. So it was made for it, for sure.
I never even would have thought of that. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so how was Max Inc. the other night? You were on with Terry and Rocker.
I was right here. Literally right here. We had the band here. We had our full drum kit out there. It was a blast. Yeah, we had it rocking in here.
Do you do that often on the radio, perform live? I mean, you've
not with
performed
the
on
full
this
band.
show.
Yeah, it's an ordeal with the full band. We have to bring our mixer and kind of get a whole bunch. We had in-ear monitors on our own, and so I was over there, and then when it was time to do the interview, pop over here really quick and try not to get tangled in my cords, but it's always fun. It's a blast.
So, all right, before we jump into your new album, Cosmic Hit and Run, you would have been on this show again since last November if you didn't have some health issues.
Yeah.
So you've had a lot of trauma, drama, whatever you want to say, however you would categorize it, over the last year. Tell us what happened.
Well, really not too long after I was here, so it would have been around that mid-November, I was having these headaches, these really bad headaches and kind of facial pain and other neuro pain, vision loss, lots of stuff like that. That was super scary. And we thought, well, maybe it's just, I'm a graphic designer and videographer, so I work on screens all the time. So we thought maybe it was just, okay, let's go to the eye doctor. Maybe there's something with that. You're staring at screens. And so we went and I got some glasses. They did not help with the headaches or anything. They just got worse and worse through December. And we just decided at some point we should get an MRI done just to check. I was having these blurry visions and dizzy things. And they're like, let's just make sure there's no like pre-stroke or stroke stuff going on here. So right around that time in December, we started doing that. We did an MRI in January, and then another follow-up one with contrast, and they found this arterial. What did I say?
You
The
called
name.
it, it's AVF, arterial venous
fistula. There it is. I always
That's
get that mixed up. It is. It is. So they found that it's right in the smack dab in the middle of my forehead and the brain right there. And so it's like this artery and this vein that are kind of connected, and that should never happen because there's pressurized blood and non-pressurized blood, and the pressurized goes to the non part, and it
Oh my
can blow up with an aneurysm, and that's it. So
Is that one of those things where they caught it just in time, or it was like a ticking clock, like something could have happened at any?
exactly. They thought maybe, 8 to 10 years it probably had been there or been developing throughout
gosh.
that time. So the headaches and stuff, we still don't know if that was all officially from that. We got the MRIs, they discovered this thing. 4 months later, I had to wait, and then eventually got the procedure, and they went and put some cement in to kind of block it off after 4.5 hours of procedure. And we just went in a few weeks ago and double checked with another MRI. The fix worked. Everything's good. So that possibility of an aneurysm is not going to happen anymore. So that's fixed. Just still dealing with a lot of those same symptoms, the headaches and stuff. And we're just trying to figure that stuff out now. But yeah.
I remember when you posted this on social media. I don't think I knew that you were going into surgery. I think I just saw that you posted something after you had been out. There's probably been 10 social media posts since I've been on it that made me go, whoa, like you just didn't have any idea. So I'm glad that worked out. But
me too.
when you play, what does that do? Like you play music in bars sometimes or outdoors. Does that affect your headaches or anything?
Well, it certainly was at the end of the year. Flannel Fest was probably what we were here
Right.
promoting, and that was around that time, and it was like fine at that show, but really after that, it really the headaches just started getting worse. So I didn't really play again. I think I did one show in December and was miserable. Didn't know why. Just it was headaches, but it's not just like your typical headaches. It's like eye pain. It's just really bizarre facial pressure type stuff, and so I had a couple shows around that time that were not great, and it was like, oh, but typically in the wintertime we don't play much, and actually our whole plan with the Mascot Theory was to record an album. So we weren't going to be playing, we were going to work on this album, which we did start doing, and then this all kind of got diagnosed, and we still were able to kind of work on the album. I kind of just worked on it when I could, kind of in my home studio with bring the guys over. I'd be working on my laptop and just kind of working on stuff when I wasn't my head buried under a pillow from all this pain and stuff. So
That's incredible that you went through that issue, had surgery, and in that time since you've been recovering, you still have, I mean, every sign of life is what we were discussing last
right.
November.
Yeah.
You already have a new album out despite what you went through. That's kind of a fast turnaround, isn't it?
Well, that Every Sign of Life actually came out, I think, in April last year, but that album actually had been recorded 2 years before.
Okay.
We went down to Texas, we recorded it, we kind of shopped it around, seeing if there's any record labels, what the industry was looking like at that time, and we decided to release it on our own. So it had been around for a while in our world, not out in the world to everybody else. So when we had that one done, we still had a ton of songs that were ready for a next album already. So it was just kind of waiting for the right moment. But then kind of at the end of last year, we were starting to think about, well, what do you want to do for this next album? We knew we were going to kind of do a hiatus anyway, and we thought, well, let's tackle something a little bit different. We'll set even those other songs aside for now. I had a song actually, Final Hour, that I think is on the list for potential for playing tonight. That was all dealing with my dad's passing back in 2020, and he had a 2 years of being in the hospital. He had a blood infection that led to from a kidney stone that led to, I think, his pancreas getting destroyed, and then it was just 2 years of misery for him, and then a pandemic and all of that. So trying to help him with the care and but also limited to who could go in and when to the hospitals. It was a real tough time, and so I had all these lyrics that I'd kind of came up with. Specifically, Final Hour was kind of one of those main ones. And then eventually it was like, okay, let's try something different from a recording aspect. Let's just go ahead and do a concept album. We were inspired by Pink Floyd and some of those older, the Who, the bands that did those concept albums where it's all thematically and musically tied together. So that was our plan for this, even before the headache stuff. that was what we were going to do. And we were able to kind of start doing that. And it just sort of worked because we were doing it in our own studios. We could kind of keep moving forward with it when I felt good. And it actually really helped me because I couldn't do anything. They were like very specific, don't do anything, until this procedure happens. So nothing tragic happens.
That's incredible. Eric Jellin is my guest. He is the front man for the Mascot Theory, a great band. Check them out, Google them, Spotify, whatever. But right now we're going to play one of their new tracks. What should we lead with?
Got a Grip is the one that we've been playing most so far. So that one.
Con, let's fire up Got a Grip. This is the Mascot Theory and Eric Jellin.
You're barely hanging on. The tank is empty. Face the heat and embrace it. Embrace it.
My brain is drowning loud and free. Past that salty ocean to me. Across the family dinner table. Separate the truth from fable. My brain is drowning loud and free. Past that salty ocean to me. Across the family dinner table. Separate the truth from fable. I'm barely hanging on, though I've still got a grip. And it might take all night, but I'll get over this. I'm barely hanging on, though I've still got a grip. And it might take all night, but I'll get over this. Cross my heart and hope to fly into a sunset painted sky. Passing ships and star-crossed lovers. Peek your eyes from under covers. Cross my heart and hope to fly into a sunset painted sky. Passing ships and star-crossed lovers. Peek your eyes from under covers. I'm barely hanging on, though I've still got a grip. And it might take all night, but I'll get over this. I'm barely hanging on, though I've still got a grip. And it might take all night, but I'll get over this.
You're barely hanging on, embarrassed, you stare at the wall. You're tearing your hair out, I dare you to carry it all. The baggage you buried, it's there when you're raring to fall. Cause they don't care if you disparage to perish or stall. The tank is empty, start to rush to the end. And it's tempting to break all the rules when Lady Justice is bending. So save me from all the lies and the maybes. Cause maybe if you told the truth then all our lies would be gravy. I'm going crazy but I'm sane enough to know that you made me. The game is changing and I'm praying I'll continue to play it. But lately I'm just losing faith and every day it keeps fading. The pain is raising past the blame, or let the rain hit the pavement. Another payment, you can't pay it, so you're trying to fake it. I bet you need a vacation, cause you're running and racing. Now get a grip and be patient. Don't slip when you're pacing. Take another deep breath. Face the heat and embrace it. Face the heat and embrace it.
With locations in Appleton and Oshkosh, Insight Eye Care has been serving the Fox Valley since 1972, offering comprehensive eye care services. Their doctors also share a special interest in treating chronic dry eye disease, providing specialty contact lenses, and expert pediatric eye care. Find Insight Eye Care on North Sawyer Street in Oshkosh and Chain Drive in Appleton. Improving lives by improving sight with quality eye care for everyone in your family. Insight Eye Care. Visit WIinsight.com to schedule your eye exam today.
Make every day extraordinary with something special from Wisconsin. From artisan cheeses to fresh produce to maple syrup, the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade and Consumer Protection's Something Special from Wisconsin program is proud to work with member businesses that certify their Wisconsin-made and processed products. Look for the red and yellow sticker and visit somethingspecialfromwisconsin.com to find member businesses and products made with care, quality, and love. Sponsored by Wisconsin DATCP.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Small businesses are the heart of America. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Find a mentor today at score.org.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And we're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app.
Your local Civic Media radio station is your source for real news and great conversation, plus fun and exciting contests. For a complete list of contest rules, log on wgbw.fm/contest-terms. As Wisconsin is brats on the grill for a tailgate, this is the Civic Media Radio Network.
Teachers are diverse, skilled leaders, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Teaching shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org, supported by the U.S. Department of Education and 1 million teachers of color.
Welcome back. This is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba. You've got the Civic Media Radio Network, folks. We got a shout out for our guest, Eric Jellin from Terry Bar.
Hey, Terry.
Yay, Eric. Which is so cool because Terry introduced us to Eric, and Eric was on Max Inc. Radio with his band Mascot Theory Saturday night. So we just heard Got a Grip.
Yep.
You have a little rap in there,
Yeah.
kind of. You little bending some genres here. I love when people do that.
Yeah, we just, we're doing this. Decided to do this album completely on our own with no constraints. We'll just do whatever we felt like fit the mood. And a friend of mine, Tyler Durden, the rapper on there, had actually heard a demo of that song probably a year before. And he had actually really loved the demo, and then he wrote a whole verse for it and then sent it to me, and I totally forgot about it. And a year later, we pop it down on the album, and I was sharing with him kind of where we were at with the song. He's like, I wrote a verse for that. I'm like, oh no, I forgot about that. And I'm like, well, I don't know. We've got, like I said, we got these things timed down. So
Yeah.
anything that goes in, something else is coming out. But, if you want to send it to me, we'll see. And we started working on it, and it's like, oh, this is amazing. This is going to fit perfectly with the theme of the album and everything, and dealing with grief and loss and then
Yeah.
kind of the cosmic picture after what happens next. So it just fit perfect. So, yeah.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
You had this serious brain surgery, and your dad passed away. Without sounding crass or whatever, does that make it easier to write material when you're going through such crap in your life? Was it easier to write this as opposed to like Every Sign of Life?
I would say, well, we'll see what happens with the brain stuff. I haven't written anything after that. All of
Okay.
these songs were written through the lens of my father,
Oh,
which took
okay.
me, years to Final Hour song was written years ago. So that one was kind of the first one. And then this year when we decided to do this kind of an album, I had some other ones that were dealing with the same kind of theme. So I think it was once we decided, okay, this is the theme of the album, I'm going to write it specifically about this topic, then actually it did just kind of flow out. A lot of the songs were written towards the end of the year last year, or kind of right before we were about ready to start recording. That's kind of how it goes. Sometimes we have some older songs, and sometimes we have just brand new stuff I bring to the band, and they're not really ready for it, and it's a blast. So we kind of just do it that way, and that's exactly how it happened for this one. And with the brain stuff, it'll be interesting. I think on one of my posts, I was like, I'm sure I'll deal with that at some point on the next album. You know,
right? It's interesting. Eric Jellin is my guest from the Mascot Theory. We just heard his song "Got a Grip." The new album drops October 3rd?
Yeah.
Okay, so where can people find that? Spotify, the usual outlets?
All the streamers. We'll have it on our website, themascottheory.com. There'll be a link to our store, our Bandcamp store, so you can order it right from there. We'll send you CD or vinyl versions and digital streaming, all that stuff.
And when can people see you? It's October 5th. You have a release party at the Atwood Music Hall here in Madison. And then you mentioned one in Appleton as well.
October 3rd, the actual release day. We're going to be at Gibson Music Hall in Appleton. So it's going to be a blast. And they're very different kind of shows that we would typically do. We're kind of a folk rock band. With this album, we really felt like we wanted it to be the focus of everything that we're performing. So it's actually a very intimate kind of sit down. We're going to do an interview. Terry Barr's actually going to be at the Madison one and going to do an interview on stage. We'll talk about the album and the process a little bit. And then we've got our friends Into the Music podcast up in Appleton. We'll do the same thing.
On your website, you have a passage that says, where you describe this album, peering, jittery energy with a little self-interrogation. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I think it's especially with this theme. I mean, when you're trying to tie in all the songs, or all the songs are all in the same ideas, you really have to look into, okay, what was I feeling during all of this? Specifically when my dad was passing away, how was that really affecting me at the time? How do I reflect on that now?
Yeah.
And so you really got to dig deep on that. What is that? And then kind of the side B of the album is really more of the, okay, after death, what happens now? How do we grieve from that lens now when it's the healing part, right? So it's like, what does that look from a cosmic standpoint? Where do we go after we pass away? All those kind of big ideas is kind of the second half of the album, and that's kind of what we were shooting for on this one.
So why don't we do this, just to get as much bang for our buck as possible? Why don't we play a song into the break at the top of the hour, then we'll get the third song played in the first segment after the news. So what should we go to during the break?
Let's do Constellation Prize.
All right, Con, get that ready. Eric Jellin is here. He is my guest in studio, coming to you live from Madison tonight. When we come back, folks, Eric's song will take us to intermission. We'll be back for Act 2, and I'm going to tell you all about Civic Media's Go for the Green and Gold Text-to-Win contest, and I'm going to give you the keyword. Great stuff. You can win cash and jewelry and 2 amazing tickets to Green Bay and Minnesota. I guess I just kind of told them about it, but I'll elaborate a little bit after.
Good guess.
Here's Eric Jellin and Mascot Theory. We're coming back for Act 2 after this.
Now that I can finally breathe in, open up my eyes to see again. It's clear, so clear. All covered up in my feelings, but I was not alone in grieving. It's clear, so clear. Are we the lucky ones? Hang on until we've won the Constellation Prize. This cosmic hit and run, in time we all become stars up in the sky.
happens in Wisconsin.
Local news and timeless hits. WGBW, Denmark, Green Bay.
ABC News, I'm Stephanie Officer. President Trump announced the FDA will notify doctors pregnant women should not take Tylenol due to an increased risk of autism. ABC's Selena Wang.
The maker of Tylenol is pushing back in a statement saying, quote, that Tylenol is the safest pain reliever option for pregnant women as needed through their entire pregnancy. And some doctors right now, they are concerned that pregnant women may be scared of using Tylenol in moderation and that they won't treat a fever during pregnancy, which carries risks.
France has recognized the state of Palestine today as the United Nations General Assembly in New York. French President Emmanuel Macron made the announcement. The U.S. and Israel opposed the move. ABC's Tom Sufi-Burridge.
Israel is saying that a Palestinian state would be a threat to Israel's security, and they don't want to work with Hamas for sure. They don't want to work with the Palestinian Authority either. That's the kind of autonomous government in the West Bank, just close to here.
This is ABC News.
Download the Civic Media app in the Google Play or Apple App Store and take us everywhere. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
From the 97.9 WGBW Newsroom, I'm Connie Fellman with this local news update. You may have noticed a bit of a detour if you normally drive on East Mason Street in Green Bay. Construction is underway to improve parts of East Mason and Main Street on the city's east side. East Mason is closed now between the Main Street intersection almost to Abrams Street. Assistant City Engineer Chaming Yang says once they get through the first month, Lime Kiln will open back up, so drivers should be able to use that route in a couple of weeks. But the section between Lime Kiln and Main Street will stay closed until mid-December. The goal is to get the projects done before the first snowfall. One of several employees Waupun Correctional Institution charged in connection to inmate deaths is off the hook. Lisa Hale reports.
A Dodge County Circuit Court judge dismisses charges against one of several employees charged in 2024 with abusing residents and misconduct in office at the Waupun Correctional Facility following 5 inmate deaths. The Wisconsin State Journal reports that according to the order for dismissal, Alexander Hallfelder only worked with one of the inmates in question for a few days before going on family medical leave. Hallfelder also told his supervisor and a member of the health service unit that he was concerned about the inmate's health. The prison was under lockdown conditions when 2 inmates died by suicide. One died by a drug overdose, one of a stroke, and another of dehydration and malnutrition. Former Waupun warden Randall Hepp was found guilty of a misdemeanor and was fined $500 for his role in the death of an inmate at the prison. 35-year-old Sarah Ransbottom was found guilty in September of a misdemeanor count of violating state or county institutional law. She was ordered to pay a fine and a court fee. 5 other prison employees still face charges of abusing an inmate or misconduct.
With news at the top and bottom of the hour all day and on demand anytime at WGBW.FM, I'm Connie Fellman, 97.9 WGBW News.
Some good news and bad news. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Baseball, the good news is for a 3rd year in a row, the Brewers headed into the playoffs as divisional champs. The bad news is it'll likely be without starting pitcher Brandon Woodruff, who suffered a lat strain in his upper back.
Obviously, it sucks. This is something that is a side effect of the surgery I had, and it's kind of terrible timing in that sense for, the team. The biggest goal for me was to finish the year healthy.
The Crew in San Diego tonight against the Padres. College football, the Badgers now 2-2 after losing to Maryland 27-10 over the weekend. Wisconsin has their bye week followed by a trip to Ann Arbor to face number 19th ranked Michigan. NFL, the Packers stunned, losing 13-10 to the Browns in Cleveland on a last-second field goal.
It's extremely disappointing to be in a position to win the game and to have the script totally flip on you. It's tough to deal with.
As head coach Matt LaFleur with Sports on Mike Clemens.
Local news, weather, and sports on air and streaming on the Civic Media app. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Isolated evening storms, otherwise partly cloudy tonight. A low in the low 60s with patchy fog. Mostly cloudy for tomorrow morning, some sun in the afternoon, a high in the upper 60s. Staying dry through the week as temperatures stay in the 70s. It's 71 right now.
Jane Matnair and Greg Bach.
Coming up on the show, unfortunately, more PFAS are showing up in Wisconsin's duck population. David Drake will be here to break that down and what that means. Don't miss it.
Matnair on air, weekday mornings 9 to 11.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Is getting vaccinated on your to-do list? We can help you check that off.
You've got this.
Yes, you do. See how we've got you at yougotthis.usaging.org. A message from the Aging and Disability Vaccination Collaborative, powered by US Aging.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who still likes to build a fort, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Act 2 of Nite Lite, this Monday edition, as Nite Lite comes to you live from downtown Madison. We are just above State Street at Civic Media headquarters. It is so great to be here. Another shout out to Aaron Zomers for helping us get set up. Conrad Krieger back in Green Bay, holding down the fort, working the board. Conrad, everything okay?
Yeah, it's going great.
All right. We've got Jim Healy coming up at 7:20. He is one of the programmers at UW Cinematheque and also one of the big shots at the Wisconsin Film Festival. We're going to talk about both of those things and Robert Redford, maybe some Peter Bogdanovich, all kinds of fun stuff with my film buff fan pal, Jim Healy, who will be here shortly. Right now, we've got a few more minutes with our friend Eric Jellin, the frontman for The Mascot Theory, who is here in the studio with me. We just heard a couple songs off their new album, Cosmic Hit and Run. I will get back to Eric in just a moment. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, this is exciting. Civic Media has a new Text to Win contest. It is our multi-state Go for the Green and Gold Text to Win contest. Conrad, back me up here. Our daily prize in this contest, folks, is $200 in cash and gold jewelry. So there's one winner every day. You have to have the app to play. But I assume most of you have the Civic Media app. If you don't, download it, get the app, and text in the keyword on the app. That is the way you qualify for our multi-state Go for the Green and Gold Text to Win contest. And here is the grand prize. So you win $200 or gold and gold jewelry. That's an and, Conrad, not an or. $200 and gold jewelry. That's the daily prize just for texting in the keyword. And then our grand prize, 2 club-level indoor seats to Green Bay versus Minnesota. I'm talking football here, folks. It's a Green Bay home game, November 23rd of this year at 12 p.m. That's a Sunday. We can say Sunday, right, Conrad?
Yes.
Okay. And you get a gas card to get you to the game. So that doesn't do a guy like Conrad much good because he lives there and he doesn't qualify anyway because he works for us. But it's like a $1,550 value. And you can, winners are selected. There's one per day and then one final grand prize winner. And I am going to give you the keyword, folks, right after our first break. When we're done talking to our pal Eric Jellin here, you will have tonight's keyword. Text it in right away. Get yourself eligible because you could come out way ahead on this. It's great stuff. Our Civic Media Go for the Green and Gold Text to Win contest, a multi-state Text to Win contest, by the way. So that is all good stuff, and we'll do the keyword shortly. Our question of the night is, it's National Diary Day. I realize most people don't really keep diaries anymore, but our National Diary Day question of the night is, what is the most embarrassing thing someone could read in your diary? We'll read some text coming up off the text line. Dave on the stream says, the coolest thing I have in a diary is text messages. It documents in real time when you may not remember. Okay, that's good. Is that embarrassing though, Eric? It doesn't sound like it.
Depends on what it is, I guess, or who sent it.
That is the best thing about texting is I can look back. Like my pal Jim was on the show tonight. I'm like, when is the last time I had him on? I just look at the text thread.
True.
So it is a nice way to chronicle certain things. All right, Eric Jelland is here. We've got a few more minutes with our pal Eric Jelland, the front man for the Mascot Theory. So you got Mineral Point this month. On the 24th. Talk about that show. What a great little town, and it sounds like a fantastic venue.
Yeah, 2 days. We'll be in Mineral Point on the it's on the Orchard Lawn, which is a cool old used to be the Gundry House, or maybe they still call it that. I'm not sure, but it's an old house, and they have throughout the summer they've got all these concerts on the porch, they call them, and so I think we're the last one now, and I think we're gonna get lucky. It's like 70s or something maybe tomorrow, hopefully by the time we play.
It's supposed to be nice, like for the next. You should be fine.
I love it.
Yeah,
because you never know. It was freezing cold a few weeks ago, so I'll take it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's my hometown, so we're really excited to be there. We're gonna do an acoustic show, so we'll have the full band, but it'll be acoustic.
Oh, fun!
So it's gonna be a blast.
So all right, Cosmic Hit and Run, your new album drops October 3rd.
Yep.
Correct. Okay. Your last album, Every Sign of Life, was produced by kind of a legend, Terry Manning.
Yeah.
Who produced Zeppelin stuff, and he passed away. But you guys totally self-produced this album without nullifying or cheapening the contributions of a famous producer. What's more fun for you?
I mean, they were both a blast. Going down to Texas and working with Terry was like a just Cadillac experience. We're just like, this is going to be so amazing. We put a lot of time and effort into rehearsals to make sure that we were as polished as possible when we got to work with Terry, somebody of his pedigree. And we had a blast down there. We were extremely excited about what we came out with the Every Sign of Life album. But also part of us then for the next one now. And that was, we had been down, that was 4 years ago. So It's been a while. And so now we were looking for this next one. We're like, let's do just something the complete opposite. Let's do our own thing. We'll get our pal Michael Mood, who came out to our studio to help us work on it in our home studio. And we just thought, let's try it. We've got tons of gear. We know what we were looking for. We know we're going to be rehearsed. We had the songs, we had the chops, but we want to do more with it too. Because as you listen to the album, every song is tied together. There's found sounds that we just literally went out and picked up on our phones, and just all kinds of things in this album that we never would have been able to do in a full big studio without paying tons and tons of money of time. So being able to work on it on our own was kind of the only way to make this album.
So you've got 2 completed albums now. Is there one you favor, or do you notice the difference in a I mean, you're not going to make your album worse working with Terry Manning, but I mean, what is the difference? Is there a difference in the finished
To me,
product?
there's not.
Okay.
I mean, that's the thing we wanted to make sure is if we did this on our own, it's got to sound as good as our last ones. And we've done 6, 7 albums. We've got a lot of albums out. So we're like, it has to just kind of keep in that same vein of the quality that we're used to. And with this one, once we got the recording done, once we got it to our pal Michael to do the mixing, and then we actually had it mastered by a really amazing Mystery Room mastering, we just knew it was something that was equal to the other in terms of quality, and it just means a ton.
You talk about Pink Floyd. Your album covers, I realize, is there some Floyd influence there too? Yeah,
It's cool. I love Pink Floyd albums. I think that was Hypnosis. Storm Thurmond, I believe his name was, the guy who designed a lot of their album covers.
Okay.
I love them. I mean, I loved it.
And do you design yours? Because you have the graphic art. Okay.
Yep. I do all the design stuff for it.
Eric Jelland is here. He is my guest from the Mascot Theory. They were just on Max Inc. Radio the other night here on WMDX. Go check out that interview, too, if you want to check out the podcast at civicmedia.us. They play Mineral Point the 24th. 2 shows there. They're coming up to Green Bay and Appleton soon. You can check all of this out. Do you want to give your website?
TheMascotTheory.com.
All the dates are on there. They got Madison at the Atwood Music Hall here October 5th and October 3rd. The actual date the album drops at the Gibson Music Hall in Appleton. Do you have a favorite venue in the state or a couple of them?
Well, I mean, Mineral Point Opera House is always one of my hometown, so that's always a favorite.
That's fun.
And we did that one last year, and I'm sure we'll be back in a year or two. But really, Gibson Music is such an amazing space up there, and it's the folks that curated the Mila Music Festival, and that's just such an amazing thing for the state. And it's original music. It's all original music, and that's what we do. So it's any kind of experience that or any kind of folks that really put that out there that, hey, this is original stuff, and you're going to like it. And people, they've just kind of curated it that way with that festival. And so you feel like you're going into a hometown crowd when you're not even from there, because they're already just pumped to be here and some stuff they haven't heard before.
All right, we're going to try to get one more song in here. Tell us about this final song.
This is called Final Hour, and this was kind of the main linchpin for the entire album. The first one that I wrote, it was a night when my dad was going into surgery and was not expected to come out. And so I was kind of dealing with that with writing some lyrics down, and ironically, he actually did come out of it, and it was another year before he finally passed away. But it was a lot of those kind of moments, and so this was kind of that one.
All right, Con, let's hear it.
So you're taking an unplanned midnight stroll, wandering blind through the unknown, searching for answers only ghosts could ever know. You travel an unpaved gravel road. What you will find there, God only knows. A thief in the darkness, or a light to guide you home. Is this the final hour? Is this the last goodbye? Can I get some sleep tonight while these memories collide? Is this the final hour? Is this the last goodbye? Can you make it back to me when shadows fill your eyes? Didn't want to retire from the daily grind, and you didn't plan to be cast aside, surrounded by strangers while the symptoms multiplied. I try to decode inconceivable plots, unwinnable games, unreachable docks, the meaning of life in the bottom of an empty cereal box. The final hour? Is this the last goodbye? Can I get some sleep tonight while these memories collide? Is this the final hour? Is this the last goodbye? Can you make it back to me when shadows fill your eyes?
That was Final Hour from the Mascot Theory. Eric Jellin is here in studio with me. He is their vocalist and lyricist, and this has been so much fun, buddy. I love when you come on the show.
Oh, awesome. Thanks for having me.
I wish you luck with the new album and all the shows you have coming up to promote it. I love the material, and thank you again for the album. Here you go, folks, right here. Pink Floyd influenced, and you can kind of tell. He does all this stuff. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
When I come back, Jim Healy will be here, and I'm going to give you the keyword to the our multi-state Civic Media Go for the Green and Gold Text to Win contest. That is coming up after the break. Get your apps ready. You'll have the keyword, and you can be part of the contest. We're coming right back. Check out the Mascot Theory. Google them, folks. Great stuff.
Threatens everyone.
From Hobart to Bay Settlement, 97.9 WGBW.
Appleton Cigar Company on College Avenue has been serving the community for over 25 years. If you are a cigar aficionado looking for a one-of-a-kind experience, you need to check out Appleton Cigar, which boasts the largest selection of cigars north of Milwaukee with over 706 cigars to choose from in a walk-in humidor. The Cigar Lounge offers an impressive variety of spirits and cocktails that pair perfectly with a premium cigar. For the full experience, come to Appleton Cigar at 415 College Ave, Monday through Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. For more information, go to appletoncigar.com.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org today.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And we're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app.
Your local Civic Media radio station is your source for real news and great conversation, plus fun and exciting contests. For a complete list of contest rules, log on WGBW.FM.
My sweet Lord, ooh, my Lord. My sweet Lord.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Nite Lite, coming to you live from downtown Madison tonight. Always fun to be doing a show in Madison. Conrad, are you envious?
I am. You know, I could be on the other side of the glass right now, but, you know, there's just nothing on the other side.
Aaron kept the chair warm for you, buddy, if you ever want to make the trip. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to give you all the keyword of our Civic Media Go for the Green and Gold Text to Win contest. Check this out. The daily prize, $200 cash and gold jewelry. There's one winner every day. And the grand prize, 2 club-level indoor seats to Green Bay versus Minnesota. That's football we're talking about. It is a Green Bay home game November 23rd at noon, and you get a gas card to get you to the game. It's like a $1,550 value. You can't beat that. And you get to see some football, and it's the green and gold versus the, what do you say, purple and gold, right, Conrad?
Purple people eaters.
The purple people eaters. There you go. So this hour's keyword, ladies and gentlemen, is night. N-I-G-H-T, not night like nightlight, the actual word night, N-I-G-H-T. So text that in right now on the app, and you are eligible for our daily prize of $200 cash and gold jewelry, and you are automatically entered into the grand prize contest as well. So good luck, everybody. It is my pleasure to welcome a friend of mine back to the show. He's been on the show before. I love talking movies with him. He's a movie buff who does amazing work at the Wisconsin Film Festival, as well as UW Cinematheque. And he is, first of all, I want to talk about Cinematheque. This is a great thing. We'll start with that because it is this fantastic program. But joining me here in the studio right now is my pal, Jim Healy. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Pete.
Great to have you back.
Thanks for having me.
These are new microphones, so do whatever you need to do there. Are you comfortable?
You hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. Conrad, can we hear Jim okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Jim Healy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited to have you here, Jim. I always love having in-studio guests, but especially when they know so much more about movies than I could ever imagine knowing. So let's jump right in. how are things at Cinematheque?
Better than ever. We're really enjoying great crowds for the movies. There's been a lot of kind of event feel to our screenings lately.
Yeah.
Like, this is the one chance to see this, and let's all go. And we've had packed houses. We showed Apocalypse Now in the original
saw that.
release version a couple weeks ago, and we gave out the original souvenir booklets that you got when you saw it in 1979. And
how cool!
It was, it was packed, and there was a lot of students there and young people seeing the movie for the first time.
I wanted to go. The last time I was in town, you guys were screening a David Lynch film, and Mary Sweeney, his partner and editor and producing partner, was going to be there for a Q&A. And I don't get out of here till 8. And I texted Ben, and he's like, I knew it was going to be full, but I thought, are there any no-shows? He goes, text Jim. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I knew you had your hands full that night. But
those screenings were really crazy. When we showed Mulholland Drive, which Mary produced and edited, she spoke afterwards. But we had a full crowd for a full house that showed up almost an hour and a half before the movie and just made a coil line outside, and they were all there, they wanted to be there for that one.
That's incredible. And mostly I would have just wanted to be there for the Q&A because I've seen Mulholland Drive. I think I don't know if I talked to you about this, but I did rewatch it about probably 8 or 9 months ago. I still have no idea what's going on at the end of the movie, and I would have loved to have asked her. I'm sure she gets that all the time, but do you know? I mean, have you heard her talk about the end of that film?
Well, she won't talk about it, nor would David Lynch ever talk about what it means, or they'll talk directly about what you're actually seeing. Like, yes, those are the same older people from the beginning of the film who are crawling out from under the door at this point. But that's it. It's just they'll talk about what you're seeing.
Great. Well, it's a great program, and for people who haven't been to Cinematheque, I talked a little bit about this at the top of the show. It's free to the public. I mean, I would imagine, with the amount of film buffs you have in Madison, they can fill up pretty quickly, and maybe you have to turn people away sometimes. But it is definitely worth checking out. It's this great theater. I mean, it's a little outdated, but the screen is state of the art. All the equipment you guys have is state of the art, and it's a beautiful place to watch a movie.
Great sound system. And we frequently show original 35 millimeter prints that look great. That's how we showed Mulholland Drive last summer.
You had a Paper Moon screening recently, and you're showing another film of Peter Bogdanovich's called Targets on October 4th. I've seen some of well, let's talk about Targets.
Okay.
What's coming up? Let's start with that. I have not seen that film.
So Targets is Bogdanovich's first feature film. He'd done some work editing, and I think Roger Corman gave him an old Soviet sci-fi film that he dubbed and edited himself.
Oh, really?
So he had projects that he worked on. He worked on The Wild Angels and a number of other films. But Roger Corman gave him the opportunity to direct Targets, his first feature, in the idea that he could use Boris Karloff for a few days in the movie.
That was crazy.
One of his last movies. And he had to come up with a script himself. And it's a really kind of brilliant movie that cross-cuts between the story of an aging horror movie star, Boris Karloff, playing Byron Orlock. So the comparison is there. And a terrifying secondary story about a sniper who is driving around Los Angeles and bringing himself to hidden locations and shooting people. And it's a frightening, prescient film that, only unfortunately has gotten more real as the decades have gone by. But the two stories collide at the end at a drive-in. It's a really, really incredible, scary, intense sequence at the end of the film. It's a great film.
Jim Healy is here. When we come back, folks, after the news, I'm going to ask Jim, and I need this for myself as well, where you start with Peter Bogdanovich. If people haven't seen a lot of his films, we'll get that from Jim. I'll read some of your texts. And it's just a fun night here at Nite Lite, and it's great to have you with me. We are coming right back. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite live from Madison on the Civic Media Radio Network.
97.9 WGBW and WGBW.FM. Connecting audiences, powering brands. This is Civic Media. Learn more at civicmedia.us/advertise.
ABC News, I'm Stephanie Officer. President Trump announced the FDA will notify doctors pregnant women should not take Tylenol due to an increased risk of autism. ABC's Selena Wang.
The maker of Tylenol is pushing back in a statement saying, quote, that Tylenol is the safest pain reliever option for pregnant women as needed through their entire pregnancy. And some doctors right now, they are concerned that pregnant women may be scared of using Tylenol in moderation and that they won't treat a fever during pregnancy, which carries risks.
France has recognized the state of Palestine today as the United Nations General Assembly in New York. French President Emmanuel Macron made the announcement. The U.S. and Israel opposed the move. ABC's Tom Sufi-Burridge.
Israel is saying that a Palestinian state would be a threat to Israel's security, and they don't want to work with Hamas for sure. They don't want to work with the Palestinian Authority either. That's the kind of autonomous government in the West Bank, just close to here.
This is ABC News.
Some good news and bad news. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Baseball. The good news is, for a third year in a row, the Brewers headed into the playoffs as divisional champs. The bad news is, it'll likely be without starting pitcher Brandon Woodruff, who suffered a lat strain in his upper back.
Obviously, it sucks. This is something that is a side effect of the surgery I had, and it's kind of terrible timing in that sense for, the team. The biggest goal for me was to finish the year healthy.
The Crew in San Diego tonight against the Padres. College football, the Badgers now 2-2 after losing to Maryland 27-10 over the weekend. Wisconsin has their bye week, followed by a trip to Ann Arbor to face number 19th ranked Michigan. NFL, the Packers stunned, losing 13-10 to the Browns in Cleveland on a last-second field goal.
It's extremely disappointing to be in a position to win the game and to have the script totally flip on you. It's tough to deal with.
As head coach Matt LaFleur with Sports on Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. If you're like me, you never need to hear the word y'all ever again. It was a fun novelty as we indulged Southern culture in a show of unity. Those of you who do use or like the word will be happy to know there's a new holiday film called Deck the Y'alls. Sigh. Talk about shoehorning a word into a title. At least there's a good cast and an award-winning one at that. Variety reports that the film stars Jessica Chastain, Octavia Spencer, and Wanda Sykes. Chastain plays a New York City baker who falls for a Southern gent, now it all makes sense, and heads south to spend Christmas with his family, and it's going great until she meets the overprotective mom played by Spencer, who also happens to be a celebrity chef. Chastain and Spencer were both nominated for Oscars in the Best Supporting Actress category in 2012, with Spencer winning for her role in The Help. Chastain would later win an Oscar of her own in the same category for The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Filming begins next year, y'all. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nite Lite with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Reach, engage, grow with Civic Media. Log on civicmedia.us/advertise.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Isolated evening storms, otherwise partly cloudy tonight. A low in the low 60s with patchy fog. Mostly cloudy for tomorrow morning, some sun in the afternoon, a high in the upper 60s. Staying dry through the week as temperatures stay in the 70s. It's 69 degrees right now.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
The Elder Care Locator is here to help you live your best life as you age at home. Our call center advisors are ready to connect you with trustworthy local experts. Help is just a phone call away at 1-800-677-1116.
Jane Matnair and Greg Bach.
Coming up on this show, unfortunately, more PFAS are showing up.
Lite, ladies and gentlemen. So, Con, this question apparently was not as much of a dud as I thought it was going to be. I don't even know if I'm going to get through all these texts because I want to talk movies. But if I don't, folks, we will read them tomorrow, as we always do. I can't, there's just too many. What am I supposed to do, Con?
You know, I think we get a diary ourselves and write all the diary entries in that diary.
It's a terrible suggestion. Monica from Mount Horeb, she's in the 608, says, having feelings for people who treated me like crap. Yeah, you don't want people to read that. Chris from the 773 says, I had a diary for about a month and a half when I was 12, and unfortunately there was nothing embarrassing in it. But if I was writing one to date, I would hope no one read that you asked this question tonight in my diary. Ha ha. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. I could, just ban Chris from future shows, Conrad. Tyler from the 608 says, same old, the monotony of it all. The highlights, I got a dog. He is funny, gets the most ink. Okay, Tyler, that's good. All right, we'll do our best to get to these texts, folks. Thank you for playing along on a question I did not expect to get this amount of mileage from, but we've got Jim Healy here from UW Cinematheque and the Wisconsin Film Festival. So, Jim, I wanted to ask you, Peter Bogdanovich, he's just one of those names that, probably in the past 20 years ago, I would nod my head like I knew who but I knew who he was, but I don't know his work. And I think a lot of people, he's made some great films, but he's not, you don't hear his name like you do Scorsese or Coppola or whatever. Right. He's kind of more of an offbeat name. Where should people start with his films if they wanted to check out more of his work?
Well, if you want to come to the Cinematheque, you can start at the beginning with his very first feature.
I served you a softball there, didn't I?
Yeah. But, what's interesting about him is he comes out of that same kind of school of filmmakers as Scorsese and the movie brats of the late 60s, early 70s. He was a New York guy. He moved out to L.A., he wrote articles for Esquire. He interviewed people. He really got to know the movie business by just talking to and meeting filmmakers and watching a lot of movies. And then he, right off the bat was a very talented filmmaker. And his first 3 or 4 movies, well, Targets wasn't exactly a box office sensation. It was a little movie. Paramount released it, but it showed that he could handle himself. And his next movie was The Last Picture Show. That came out 2 years later, 1971. And, he got nominated for the Oscar, and the movie won a bunch of Oscars for the actors, and was, a huge box office hit. And a black and white movie after black and white movies had gone out of fashion in Hollywood. And that it made money and had, legs was really something to Hollywood. So he basically got the blank check to do whatever he wanted after that, and he did.
And The Last Picture Show, for listeners, it's Jeff Bridges, Timothy Bottoms, and Sybil Shepherd.
Yeah,
great cast, and you can see them all when they're young too. Really good.
Randy Quaid's first movie too.
Oh yeah.
His next film was an even bigger smash. It was a comedy with Barbara Streisand and Ryan O'Neal called What's Up, Doc?
Love that movie.
Huge hit. And then he made Paper Moon, another comedy with Ryan O'Neal and Tatum O'Neal. Big smash at the box office. We showed that film a couple weeks ago at the Cinematheque. But then he made a bunch of kind of high-profile flops. The general idea about him is that he got a big head and thought he could do anything. And he made a bunch of movies, 2 with Sybil Shepherd, one film called Nickelodeon, which is about the silent movie days. And they were very expensive and not liked by the critics, and nobody went to see them. And so suddenly he was in movie director jail.
Directing TV.
No, he eventually did, but he stayed in movies for a while. In fact, I think the first film he made after those 3 flops was an art house movie called Saint Jack with Ben Gazzara, based on a Paul Theroux novel. And it is a great movie. It might be my favorite Bogdanovich film.
Oh, really?
It's really great. It's about a what's the word? A procurer of women in Singapore during the Vietnam War.
Oh wow!
And it's just a great character study, and a really, really terrific movie. And then he made a bunch of other films. He sunk some of his own money into them. He had a hit movie with Mask. The 1985 film with Cher, but he fought with the studio upon its release because he wanted Bruce Springsteen songs on the soundtrack. They finally, if you see the movie now, you can see his director's cut with the songs and a couple of scenes that he wanted in the film. But the studio wanted to take that stuff out because it was cheaper, they replaced it with Bob Seger.
Bob
song.
Seger, yeah, which is
exactly.
no slouch himself. In
Yeah.
fact, his music, I thought, what I remember, worked really well in that.
I don't remember having that much of a problem with it. I've only seen that version once. I've seen the director's cut, but the kid, the real Rocky Dennis that Eric Stoltz plays, and who Eric Stoltz plays in the movie, he listened to Bruce Springsteen, so that was a big bone of contention with Bogdanovich. He threatened to he tried to have the release halted, and Universal Pictures didn't like that, and so even though the movie was a hit and it was a very well directed film, very well regarded film, he was right back in movie jail again.
Wow.
And he kept directing. He would do theatrical films, jobs for hire. He did a lot of TV movies. Later on, he's best known as Dr. Melfi's shrink on the Sopranos. He also started acting quite a bit too. Elliot.
Lorraine Bracco.
Yeah,
would
Lorraine
go see
Bracco's
him and talk
right.
about Tony Soprano to him. And,
Elliot
Forgot about-
Kupferberg. Yeah, for Sopranos
That's
fan.
great.
That's Peter Bogdanovich.
Oh, that's great. Okay, well, I would start with, I mean, for me, just based on what I've seen, I forgot he did What's Up, Doc. It was a funny 70s
Really funny
screwball
movie.
comedy. The guy with the golf clubs who keeps throwing them out
Yeah.
because it's too hard to take.
Oh, it's great.
It's a really fun movie, but that is great stuff. Our keyword, folks, tonight for our Civic Media Go for the Green and Gold text to win contest, you have to enter it on the app, is Nite, N-I-G-H-T, N-I-G-H-T, Nite. So get that in, and you are eligible to win $200 and gold jewelry, and it also automatically makes you eligible for the grand prize. Jim Healy is here from UW Cinematheque and the Wisconsin Film Festival. I've had him on the show before. Love talking movies with Jim. So, all right. So Robert Redford passed away probably a week ago today, or maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
What is his legacy? I mean, he's a titan, a giant, all those things you want to say. Where do you rank him as an actor? Because I thought he was a really good actor. I don't think I'd put him in the top of all time in terms of just acting. Like, he was fine. He was good.
Well, he was my first idea of a movie star. I think before I ever even saw one of his films, it must have been, I saw The Sting on TV, like in the late 70s. But even before that, I knew him as this, he was the biggest movie star. When your image of a movie
No
star.
question, he was a huge movie star.
I
Yeah.
mean, and so when I started seeing his movies, I understood it because he is a very good actor. He's very relaxed. I mean, that's really kind of the key thing. In terms of range, like, you didn't exactly see him playing the kind of he rarely did the occasional villain or the heel. And then the times he did, it kind of backfired on him a little bit. But he was he was just somebody you really like to see. And he didn't do a lot of comedy. I think he had a kind of serious, but when he did do things in the comedic range, I think he was at his best. I mean, even like The Sting and Butch Cassidy are definitely, pitched at that kind of level. And then there's the one film I'm always stumping for, which is I probably hold in the Redford pantheon, is The Hot Rock.
Man.
One of the best films of the 70s, with a script by William Goldman.
Oh, wow.
Adapting
really?
a novel by Donald Westlake. And Goldman wrote Butch Cassidy and Great
Princess
Waldo
Bride,
Pepper
yeah.
and a bunch of Redford films. He wrote All the President's Men. He wrote the script for that. Anyway, it's a really, really funny heist comedy about some inept jewel thieves who are trying to steal the same diamond over and over again. It keeps getting taken away from them and put into some other precarious situation. But it's got George Siegel and Ron Liebman and Zero Mostel is in it, and it's just a great New York comedy. But like last time I looked, it wasn't on streaming anywhere. Like, you couldn't rent it on Amazon.
Really?
You can find a Blu-ray out there that maybe a used copy for $100 or something. But Redford is really funny in it, and his timing is great. He has great double takes in it, and just so relaxed and so much fun to watch. And and then the other movies I'd put in the pantheon would be All the President's Men and 3 Days of the Condor. I mean, those are just
Love them.
great. But there's another like half dozen movies, that great period between say like 69 and 79. There's probably like a 12, 13 movies, and there's another 6 that are just The Sting and The Way We Were, and Electric Horseman is a lot of fun. And
Electric Horseman's great. Yeah.
the other thing there were these 2 huge periods where he was at his prime where he didn't work at all. Like, there's like almost 4 years between All the President's Men and Electric Horseman, and the only movie he did in between was a kind of an extended cameo in A Bridge Too Far. And then he did Brubaker in 1980 and didn't do another movie for another 4 years. He didn't until The Natural. As an actor, he started directing films at that time, but he didn't even, I think Ordinary People came out in 1980 and The Natural came out like almost 4 years later. It was these huge gaps.
Yeah.
He was doing a lot of I don't want to say charity work, but he was doing
environmental work,
environmental
activism,
and establishing the Sundance Institute, and which is his other great legacy.
Right.
You asked about his legacy, is the creation of this not-for-profit film festival, that it's about championing artists working outside of the studio system, which he didn't do very often, but that he built this festival where all kinds of filmmakers could show their work, from experimental avant-garde shorts to 6-hour-long documentaries to independent features that focus on an area of a subject that has been widely underrepresented in film.
Yeah. Was that the first, like I was talking about this last week, I feel like there are probably easily 15 film festivals just in Wisconsin. Do the fact that like there are so many film festivals, is that due in part to Sundance and the popularity it gained?
I think so. I think it also has to do with kind of where the industry went, right? There was, there's much more of a focus now on, on the industry that is in charge of making big budget movies for wide release. There's less movies being made. The budgets are going up. There's less choices to see, and I think film festivals are kind of filling the gap of and showing the independently made stuff that the studios aren't interested in,
Right.
because it doesn't make $100 million on the opening weekend.
It's funny, you talked about The Sting. That's probably my favorite Robert Redford movie. It's probably in my top 5 of all time. One of those films that everything works, the script, the sets. I love that. I typically always prefer a film that was on location, but I love the backlot stuff that they shot with The Sting. It's just a great world, and he was nominated. That's his only nomination
Oscar for acting. Yeah.
And I'm not that didn't help form my opinion. I do really like Robert Redford as an actor, but that did surprise me.
Yeah, and I think even his performance in The Way We Were, which is the same year, is shows a lot more range. But that's the thing he could do perfectly in this thing. That kind of relaxed, comic acting.
Very
playing
natural.
off of Paul Newman so beautifully. My deep dark secret that I'd put in my diary is I'm not a big Butch Cassidy fan. I like him a lot in the film, and I like Newman, but the movie just always seemed kind of tonally uneven, and and his ideas were borrowed from other westerns from the time.
I would agree with that, and I thought it was strange. Maybe we can pick up on this after the break, that all of a sudden raindrops keep falling on my head out of nowhere. I'm like, what? Because I rewatched that like a year or two ago, and I'm like, this is so strange. But whatever.
Here.
Jim Healy is here, folks. He's going to stick around and help me wrap things up here at Nite Lite. We are coming right back after this very short break, talking Robert Redford, and I'm going to ask Jim what he can recommend, what he's seen lately too. That's all next on Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba.
With locations in Appleton and Oshkosh, Insight Eye Care has been serving the Fox Valley since 1972, offering comprehensive eye care services. Their doctors also share a special interest in treating chronic dry eye disease, providing specialty contact lenses, and expert pediatric eye care. Find Insight Eye Care on North Sawyer Street in Oshkosh and Chain Drive in Appleton. Improving lives by improving sight with quality eye care for everyone in your family. Insight Eye Care. Visit WIinsight.com to schedule your eye exam today.
Hey, it's Amanda, and we all know that Northeast Wisconsin has some of the best events around, but trying to find them all can be tricky. So here at WGBW, we decided to do the work for you. Prevent boredom on any night by going to WGBW.fm and click events in the top right corner. You'll never have to spend forever scrolling to find out what's going on in your area. And if you got an event to share, hit us up by emailing info@WGBW.fm, bringing you local news and timeless hits while giving you the 411 on what's happening in New Wisco.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Being blind doesn't look how others may think.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. I know where to find support.
Learn more at fightingblindness.org, a public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And we're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app.
Your local Civic Media radio station is your source for real news and great conversation, plus fun and exciting contests. For a complete list of contest rules, log on wgbw.fm/contest-terms. Come work with us. Civic Media has a number of great jobs across the state. Open now at civicmedia.us/careers.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Mother, there's too many of you crying. Brother.
Welcome back.
There's far too many.
I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Nite Lite. It's been a fun show. Conrad, have you had fun tonight?
I definitely have.
That's all that I care about. Our question of the night is, what was something, if you kept a diary, what in your diary would you be embarrassed if people read? John Murray from the 608 says it would be packed with lies. I can't confess every day. And the rest is like 243 vacay pics on Facebook. I silently reflect on the day to the ceiling in bed. Good enough. All right, John. Thanks for not getting too personal. Let's see if we can squeeze one more in here. Steve from Florida says, speaking of diaries, fun fact, one of Conrad's favorite novel series was Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
That is true.
Your dad just outed you on national radio, statewide radio, national stream.
It's okay. It was a great series.
Yeah, it was. It was good. And then finally, we'll get the rest of your text, folks. I know we're behind tonight on text. We'll read them tomorrow night as well. Jack from Merrimack in the 414 says, if a single actor could carry a full-length film, it was Redford. See All Is Lost. If you haven't seen it, you need to put it on your list. Jack from Merrimack. Well, that's a great text for my guest, Jim Healy, who is here and knows a lot about movies in general, but certainly Robert Redford. I have not seen that.
All Is Lost is very good. Maybe that's probably his most important work as an actor after the 70s, I think.
Okay. And then the Hot Rock. I'm gotta add
Oh,
that
you
to
got
my
to see the
list.
Hot Rock.
I can't believe I haven't seen it. Sometimes I say I haven't seen a film and then I put it in. I'm like, I have seen this when I was younger and I just didn't know what it was. So what have you seen recently, Jim, at the theater?
I went to see. I've been to see a bunch of things. I'll speak well of two movies. I really liked The Long Walk, and I loved Weapons. I thought it was really great.
Yeah.
Maybe the best new movie, at least studio American movie I've seen this year.
It was good. It was creepy.
Yeah, I really loved it. It's creepy and really compelling, and Zach Kreger's the writer director. He really knows how to make a story interesting. It's not exactly linear. He gives you little pieces. And it's it's really well done. I like those two a lot. I also saw, I was at the Toronto Film Festival, and I saw a new Brazilian movie coming out directed by Kleber Mendonça Filho, which is, it's called The Secret Agent. It's set in Brazil during the 1970s, during their own kind of fascist era, kind of the same era as the film I'm Not Here was set in last year. But this is a really exciting movie made by a really passionate cinephile director, and it's about a fugitive who finds kind of community among other fugitives while also trying to save his hide from hitmen that are after him. And he spends a lot of his time hiding out in a movie theater where his father-in-law is the projectionist, and they're showing The Omen
nice.
in 1977.
Oh, very cool.
And Jaws figures into the film, and it's a real kind of cinephile's delight, movie junkie's delight.
That's great. Did you see Barbarian? Is that correct?
I love Barbarian.
I did too.
Yeah, I liked it very much, and I was excited about Weapons, and that was what I think that was what was so great about it, is that it delivered on that promise of Barbarian. Which
That's interesting, because I thought if I had to rate the two, I know I'm in the minority. I think I like Barbarian better just because it was more. It wasn't totally linear, but it was like it had more of an ending. Like Weapons was kind of. I was slightly, if I'm nitpicking.
Yeah.
But I loved that all the kids left the house in the middle of the night. That crazy run.
Yeah.
It was so creepy.
I found the climax, the
beautiful.
Weapons, really gratifying.
With the woman and the kids. Yeah, that was
very,
pretty,
very satisfying. I just, I just felt the movie had more kind of an impact. It just felt more like a movie of the moment that was kind of speaking to, the culture in general and to, what's going on in the world right now. And, Barbarian's wonderful. I loved, every second. And I would say Barbarian, maybe the story surprised me more than Weapons, but Weapons just was very satisfying.
I don't even know I don't even think I was doing this show when I saw Barbarian, and I've watched more horror since I've been doing this show, but Barbarian, the idea that there's this Airbnb and then this tunnel in a room they don't know about that goes down. And I mean, they're both really creepy, both really good movies. The Long Walk is Stephen King's first novel.
I guess so, or maybe it's, I don't know how long it is. Maybe it's like a novella. It's not too long, but he wrote it at 19 and it didn't get published until after he was established, I guess.
My son Joe, who saw that film, and he thought it was maybe the best film. He liked it, maybe better than anything he's seen this year.
It's very good, very well acted, and spare and unsettling in a lot of ways. I mean, it's just guys walking. That's really walking and talking. That's the whole movie, but it's very cinematic and compelling.
There you go, folks. That's 2 movie recommendations from the great Jim Healy, a guy who watches more movies than any of us put together.
What's your
count at so far?
Well,
this year?
I'm on par. I'm usually I will watch close to 700 features every year, but the numbers have changed. They used to be, these were new movies that I was seeing.
Right.
Now it's almost half and half with, rewatching I'm doing, because I've got this, Blu-ray collection that, sat unsealed on my shelves for years. And during COVID, I started getting into it. And now I really enjoy watching, 3 Days of the Condor again, or the Hot Rock. So,
yeah, absolutely. Folks, check out the Wisconsin Film Festival. It is such a blast. They do a great job programming it. They offer outstanding films. It's not till April, but start marking your calendars. That's just a movie lover's heaven. And then check out UW Cinematheque too. Jim Healy, always a blast, sir. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks, Pete.
You got it. Tomorrow night on the show, we've got Dr. Kristen Lyerly. You might know Dr. Kristen Lyerly's name from the Dr. Kristen Lyerly Show, which she hosts here on the Civic Media Radio Network, and more specifically WGBW. And then Logan Rogie will be here from Travel, Wisconsin, talking about fun fall events throughout our state. That's tomorrow night. I'll be back on the home court in Green Bay. My thanks to Eric Jellin for being here. Jim Healy, thank you to all your texts and calls tonight, folks. We will finish up with the texts tomorrow and be back with more contest fun in the Civic Media Go for the Green and Gold Text to Win contest, which is happening through October 3rd. Every night you have a chance to win. We will be back tomorrow night. On behalf of the lovable producer Conrad, I'm Pete Schwaba saying good night, Wisconsin.
Someone's